Aloha, everyone. This is our Hawaiian Volcano summary for August 28th, 2025. Episode 31 of Kilauea's ongoing summit eruption began in full force around 2 p.m. last Friday, August 22nd, and lasted for over 12 hours. Although the fountains did not exceed 325 feet or 100 meters, that was largely because lava was shot out from the north vent in a near horizontal arc for over 1,000 feet or 300 meters, and would likely have exceeded 500 feet or 100 meters had it shot straight up, according to the USGS HVO. They report that roughly 8.5 million cubic meters of lava were erupted, and that covered over 75% of the crater floor, which is the third largest volume erupted in a full 8 months of activity so far. You guys are seeing a compilation of USGS clips of this incline fountain and of the new intermediate vent which opened between the south vent and north vents in the later stages of episode 31. Here you see it in the background once again. Those fountains reached about 100 feet or 30 meters in height. So there's that, the USGS clips, lava covering the crater floor. Here is the main V1 camera that most web observers had access to. And after we had that overnight spattering, lava came up, built an inner cone within the vent, and then directed the lava to shoot outwards laterally. And after 12 hours, receded once again. So we're looping back through here. From the V3 camera, looking across, here's a north vent with its fountain shooting up, the south vent oozing out, and then our intermediate vents popping up in between as well. And if we look at some wider views, here is a KW camera. I'm showing a vent on the right, lava flooding the crater floor, and once it gets dark, you can see the full extent of lava covering over 3/4 of the crater floor here. And from the reverse angle, the B1 camera, lava coming across from the west to east, across at about a 1 mile distance of the crater floor, wrapping all the way around. If we look at the ground tilt for this past episode, we had a few days of neutral inflation and deflation before a final rise, right before the onset of episode 31, which once again caused a deflation in the signals. Since then, we've been recovering, although we had a couple of days slowdown recently this week before resuming the recovery. According to the USGS HVO, minor glow is visible from the north vent, and patterns of seismic tremor continue every 5 to 8 minutes with low frequency bursts, indicating gas pistoning out of sight. And they note that altogether, forecasting models suggest the likely window begins late next week, the first week of September. However, if the rate slows, as happened recently, that will delay the onset. So longer term, here's a tilt for the full 8 months of eruption. You might notice that we're having longer pauses between our episodes and larger magnitudes of drops. So if we look more closely, the last two, especially pauses following episodes, have been some of the longest we've had for the full eruption. And we've had 3 episodes in a row with low fountain heights as well. But despite that, these last 3 episodes have had some of the largest volumes of any episode thus far in eruption. Looks like the third and fourth for the last 2 episodes here. Such that when you combine that with a slightly longer duration we've had here, our discharge rates, how much lava is coming out of the ground at once, is actually very similar to the high points we've reached over the last few months here. So that hasn't changed. It's just the nozzle and the shape of lava spraying out of the ground, as well as the pressure it's building to cause new cracks near the vent areas. Gas is still the main hazard for this eruption, with lava contained within the crater. We did have a big puff of gas shooting up into the atmosphere despite the low incline fountains, and it's captured here on our satellite image. Even between these main bursts of episodes, we have low-level degassing at 1,500 tons per day of sulfur dioxide. And here you see the current VOG forecast taking this gas southwest from Kilauea across South and Southwest Hawaii, especially. And you can see it reflected in our current conditions, noted here in a citizen science monitoring network of purple air. Looking at the earthquakes, it's been pretty quiet. A few shallow earthquakes beneath the summit, a few deeper earthquakes connected to the hotspot source, and a south flank continuing its slow activity as well. This is still in line with the background activity over the past 8 months, ever since the onset of this eruption in late 2024. And we're still seeing stretching of the caldera north and south with each episode. But that is only contained within the summit, as the east rift zone is showing contraction still, indicating no magma entering that part of the system. Lava is all contained within a summit crater of Kalaupele up within a national park in a summit region of Kilauea. Quickly on Mauna Loa, it's still at normal level and aviation color code green, which means monthly updates. Earthquake rates have been fairly slow still. This is the last month events under the summit. You see a few more events clustering here. So we're still at low levels overall, looking at earthquakes per month for the last 5 years. We're nowhere near any of the build up to the 2022 eruption. But over the last few months, there has been a slight and slow increase in seismicity in that area, even as the distance across the summit crater continues to extend, sometimes a little more quickly, sometimes a little more slowly, while it continues to rise as well. So magma continues to fill Mauna Loa slowly. Someday we'll see further effects, but for now, all is well there as well. And that's our summary for this week.